Hello, everybody. My name is Cache. This is Shay with the Hobbies. I write short stories, poetry, and the occasional blog post. So I decided to get y'all something I haven't done. So I am actually going to open the package that has the anthology in which my short story is in it, and I'm gonna read it for y'all. So there we go. So, oh wow, yo, this cover feels like bomb. Okay, so, well, I did not design the cover. This is the cover of the anthology. Um, yeah. So it's called We're Not Home. It's a horror anthology in which myself and a bunch of other writers on YouTube were a part of, and my story is the third to last. So for the record, if you do choose to go out and get this, all the proceeds are going to a what's the word? A nonprofit. There we go. It's going to a charity. That's the word I was looking for. That helps to get books into homes for children. Specifically, it's in Australia. The editor of the anthology is in Australia, so that's where that is. But as somebody who grew up in a house full of books, if you know me from my YouTube channel, you know that I love to read. So of course, it's something I could get behind. Oh my God. Okay, y'all, I've not held this in my hand, so y'all are getting my reaction, and y'all, my face is in this book. Okay, so yeah. Okay, fun fact. This picture, while I am smiling and happy, was actually while I'm smiling and look happy, because I was not happy in this picture. It was actually taken in my hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. It was at the beginning of 2020. It was my cousin's funeral, but it was one of the very defining moments in me choosing to take my writing seriously, as it was at the very beginning of 2020, and that is the year that I chose to go full steam ahead and give it all I got. So that's why I chose that picture. So okay, y'all ready to get into this daggone story? Karma Always Comes Back by Cache Warren. Ain't nothing worse than realizing your life is a cliche. That thought aided Amelia the entire drive back to her neighborhood, all 30 minutes of it. Old school Maya blaring through her speakers, she willed them to drown out everything she felt, even if they burst. She broke the number one rule of visiting someone's house. Don't show up unannounced. Like most things, Amelia thought there were exceptions to this rule, and that made it worse, because the person was her boyfriend, Adamir. What made it the absolute worst was he was there, very much naked and very much occupied with the woman that wasn't her. Amelia didn't stay for explanations. There'd been nothing but tears, Maya's voice, and the buzzing of her cell phone from the car floor. She was on her 8th circle around her block. This was worse than her night terrors. At least she could wake up from those. No, this was real life, and her very real life had become that very real cliche that kept replaying in her best friend's "I told you so." With exhaustion more than common sense, she parked the driveway of her late aunt's starter home, the kitchen light visible from her seat. Wiping away her tears, Amelia trudged into the house, collapsing on the warm leather couch as she silently wept through labored breaths. How could I be so stupid? Even Beyonce got cheated on, Mill. You'll live. Well, hello to you too, Celeste, Amelia said, recognizing the voice immediately. Just saying. I've been told you dude was a bum. Probably always been a bum, yet here we are. What happened? The young woman said, crossing her arms as she waited. Les, I really don't want to do this right now, Amelia said in between sniffles. You don't ever want to do anything. That's why I always got to do it for you. And what you gonna do this time, huh? Glue my heart back together? Take back the last 4 years of my life? No. Right. Then shut up and let me cry. Nope. Nah. We're not doing this. You will not blow up at me just because this clown did just what clowns do. Nobody told you to go and move to Kansas in the first place. Why you gotta come at me so hard? I'm hurting, Les. Because after JoJo Armstrong put this scar on my cheek for defending you in the 4th grade, I said I was going to be your best friend. And I meant that. Celeste made a show of pointing to the scar, and Amelia smiled fondly at the memory. Truthfully, she never saw where Celeste came from that day. Only that JoJo ran away and never bothered her again. That was all she needed to see. And they'd been almost inseparable ever since. Celeste sat down next to Amelia, wiping a tear from her best friend's cheek. I know he hurt you. He's gonna pay, boo thing. Karma always comes back. Always. She pulled her sniffling friend into a hug, kissed the top of her head, and rubbed her back until her sobs turned to snores. Driving downtown for work with coffee in hand, Amelia spots Adamir jogging against traffic down a one-way street. Meeting forgotten, she makes 3 left turns, all the while rage growing inside her. Whispering a prayer that his direction didn't change, she presses harder on the acceleration. Amelia's eyes never leave the reflector jacket in the distance as she floors it through a yellow light. She hits the next light the instant it turns green, jerking the car to the right. The impact of plowing into the monstrous tree was no match for the adrenaline coursing through her veins. There he was, pinned between her car, blood dripping from... Ding ding! Amelia reels back in horror as blood begins to pour down all around her, pounding against the windshield. Ding ding! She can't reverse. She can't leave. Ding ding! She's back. Amelia jolted forward, falling onto the floor, legs tangled in an afghan. A sweat-soaked tank clung to her back as she tried to remember the grounding technique Dr. Montgomery taught her. Biting the inside of her cheek, she refused to call out to her best friend. She didn't need judgment tonight. It was only a dream. It wasn't real. All right, sleepyhead, time to get up. Make yourself pretty so you can get out there and stun on that fool, Celeste said, moving her hips to Jasmine Sullivan's vocals. Amelia rolled her eyes and threw a pillow at the young woman's feet. You could have made breakfast. Nope, I was too busy thinking of all the ways we could make him pay. Les, that's never been my style, and you know it. And it's always been my style, and you know that. Your point being? There's eggs in the kitchen, right? Amelia said in a dismissive tone while getting off the couch. You can't tell me you don't want to put a brick through his window, Celeste said with a mischievous smirk. A smirk Amelia knew all too well. He loved his cherry red Mercedes the way most people love their family. And maybe her thoughts were darker, but she couldn't give Celeste the satisfaction of admitting it. Karma will buy Adamir in a place the sun don't shine when he least expects it. My only request is that she lets me get a front row seat, Amelia said, grabbing a skillet from a cabinet before rinsing it off. Celeste scoffed, turning the music down. He kept calling all night, you know. I saw when I brought your phone in this morning. So you borrowed my car without permission again? So you skipping over the part where Kelsey Grammer called you all night long? I don't even get that reference, so yes, we are definitely going to skip it. Amelia gave her a knowing look, grabbing the egg carton from the refrigerator. Lest. Celeste tugged on the strings of the teal hoodie that clung to her frame, avoiding her friend's eyes. Lest, Amelia yelled, slamming the carton against the counter. All right, maybe I threw a brick through his windshield, Celeste said, putting her hands up as if she didn't know if she had done such a thing. Amelia's eyes widened in horror. This is why I moved to Kansas. Don't worry, I'm not in the business of getting caught for vandalism, Celeste continued before Amelia could begin her rant. Whipping the eggs in a bowl, Amelia bit her lip, trying to find the right words. She had to reel her friend in before things got too bad. Lest, she began, pouring eggs into the skillet, watching Celeste's joy as she sang and danced. Breathing out, Amelia's simmering anger began to cool. The car's not the worst thing. My dream was way worse, and it's not like I asked Les to do anything. It's not my fault I have a ride or die best friend. With that final thought resting in the air, she joined the song, dancing as she cooked. Millie, I just want you to promise that you're not going to go running back to this shitty guy and his shitty ways, Celeste asked, eyes pleading with hers. Taken aback by her friend's abrupt statement, Amelia blinked a few times, focusing on the change in energy. I promise I won't text him, call him, see him. None of that. I am too through with bum dudes, I swear. Pinky promise? She said, pinky extended. Blinking pinkies, Amelia said, as long as you promise to leave your muddy shoes outside. It was a full 2 weeks before Amelia broke her promise. With over 50 messages, 3 different bouquets, and dozens of unanswered calls or pop-up visits, Admire seemed desperate to talk. She'd ignored Celeste's offers to give him a reason to leave her alone for good. 14 guilt-ridden days later, she caved while sitting in her driveway after work. This part that I'm reading now is a text message exchange, for the record. Amelia, no, I actually don't hate you. I'm disappointed if you need an adjective. Admire, if I had to pick, I think disappointment is worse. Amelia, actions have consequences, Admire. Admire, touche. I really am sorry. I really can't give you a reason, but I am sorry. Amelia, didn't ask for one. Sorry you did it or sorry you got caught? Admire, both. I'm sorry I wasn't man enough to tell you and you had to find out like you did. I at least owed you that. You damn right, Amelia muttered to herself, hunched over the steering wheel, phone slick with hand sweat. Taking a calming breath, she realized she missed him immensely. 4 years is a long time. Amelia, thank you for saying that. She sent the text, grabbed her purse and blazer from the passenger seat and went inside. After a couple of minutes of watching the chat bubble appear and disappear, she sent a rushed text and hopped in the shower, without waiting for a reply, or lack thereof. Amelia, this isn't a conversation we should have over text. Want to meet for dinner? Trembling and dripping wet, she wiped her feet on the floor mat before reaching for her cell phone, charging on the sink counter. 5 messages from Admire visible on the lock screen. Admire, that sounds wise. Admire, my place or yours. Admire, that was stupid. You probably want to meet in public. Admire, are you hungry now? Admire, I hope you still want to go. Sorry. Admire, again. Amelia caught a glance at her smiling reflection and straightened her face as fast as she could. You know better. Handful of messages and you smiling like it's your birthday. A vision of that girl throwing her head back in pleasure flashed before her eyes and Amelia gripped the phone tighter. Boo thing, you out of the shower yet? Amelia dropped the phone, knocking over her perfume in a rush to delete the incriminating evidence. I'm out, Les. I didn't know you were here. Drying off now, she yelled, struggling to hide her panic. Amelia, sorry, I thought I was ready. Maybe another night. Delete. Shutting her phone off, she changed into an old college shirt and basketball shorts before joining her best friend on the living room couch. So you talked to he who shall not be named yet? Celeste asked, not even bothering to take her eyes off the television. Snickering at something Fraser said, she passed the bowl of butter drizzled popcorn. Huh? Please tell me you are not thinking about that boy. Millie, you always do this. You really deserve better than the same old. Don't you think I know that? I'm the one who feels this ache in my heart, not you. I'm not stupid. However, I do still love him. 4 years of my life, Les, of which you deserve a refund. That's a few million easy, if you ask me. Who asked you? Amelia muttered, stuffing popcorn in her mouth and turning back towards the show to avoid Celeste's piercing eyes. You know I hate this show. Too bad. I started watching it before you came in here, so there's that. And you know what? I don't have to sit here and deal with you and this. I'm the one you call when things go to hell. I'm the one who's cheering you up and encouraging you whenever another one of Satan's minions comes discarding your heart like it's trash day. I didn't ask you to be here. I'm a big girl. I can take care of myself. Because you've done so well thus far. The words were low but matter of fact, and they stung. Not wanting to let Celeste know she was right, Amelia grabbed the remote and upped the volume. Amelia stands barefoot in the middle of a worn sidewalk, torn weeds brushing her toes as the sun beams unobstructed by clouds. What is she doing here? Where is here? Looking around here, she tries to find something she recognizes, praying it quells the dread inside. Booming thunderclaps make the ground feel like it shifts underneath her feet as the sky turns a deep, dark red. Amelia runs wildly, fear propelling her forward. A vague familiarity nags at her as she crosses into a new neighborhood. Ding ding! The sun is back, the sky free, blue, clear, and cloudless. Stifling her screams through her trembling hands, Amelia is frozen in place by the sound, the change. She has to get to safety. Frantic, Amelia looks every which way for the source of the bell. That bell. Whoa, 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 A girl's singing voice floats to Amelia like the life preserver she desperately needs. Without hesitation, she's moving again, legs pumping harder, mouthing along to the song, rounding a corner and narrowly missing a bluebird mailbox. Amelia is face to face with herself at 10 years old. The younger Amelia is in a ruffled lilac dress. The younger Amelia in a ruffled lilac dress sings her heart out, chalk in hand as Amelia watches. With caution, she steps over a nearby bicycle and into the itchy grass, kneeling next to her content counterpart, the child oblivious to her presence. "What are you doing out here all by yourself?" Amelia asks, wiping her sweaty hands against her shorts. There is not even a sideways glance from the child as she continues dragging the red chalk along the ground, an occasional giggle, the only thing to break her merry tune. Amelia snaps her fingers, frustration growing at the clear snub from her former self. "I see why Mama said 10 was too old for the silent treat." A roll of thunder trumpets through the air, bringing winds that whip around her, knocking her backwards. The now crimson sky peppered with rain clouds. But little Amelia never misses a beat, her song growing louder. Curiosity and fear waging a war inside the older woman's chest, she pushes against the wind as she's drawn to the child's artwork. She tries to plant herself, but wind-tossed dirt and leaves obscure her vision. The younger Amelia looks up at her with sallow, sunken eyes. The words she speaks and draws in blood-red chalk, one and the same. "Run." Ding ding. Breathless Amelia shot up from the couch, tripping over her favorite blanket. The only light in her living room, coming from the mounted television, helped with grounding as she kept her head between her knees. "I haven't had this many nightmares in years. Why now?" Can I not turn the page? Okay, they just stick. "Like me, ha!" Okay, shit. Grabbing the blanket before stretching herself into standing, Amelia turned off the TV. The only thing penetrating the darkness was a sliver of light peeking through her slightly ajar bedroom door. The wind let out a low whistle from somewhere in the house, sending a chill up Amelia's spine as she realized she was alone. Slam! The door closing and made Amelia shriek and jump as her eyes adjusted to even less light. Celeste must have fallen asleep with the window open. Laughing at her own hysterics, she padded over to her room, pushing the door open until it hit something. Amelia grimaces, dark red liquid spread underneath the door frame, the white carpet overtaken by the wine bottle's contents. "Shit," she said, noticing a few droplets reaching further into the room. And then a bigger spot, and another, and another, until her eyes reached Celeste, standing over her bed in jean shorts and a teal hoodie. In her hand, there was a sharp silver knife stained with the blood. Adamir's blood. Celeste turned at the sound of Amelia's screams, her menacing smirk on display. "Calm down, boo thing. I did it for you," she said. "You killed him." Amelia's words came out in labored spurts as she braced herself. "He cheated on you. He broke your heart. What else was I supposed to do? Not kill him?" Amelia yelled the words with such force her arm shook. Lifting her head, she saw the limp arm. She dropped her head again as tears ran down her cheeks. "He's really gone. He cheated on you." Celeste's words were calm and measured as she swung her arm and stabbed the knife into the nearest thigh. "And cheaters never win, Millie." She wiped smears of blood onto her shorts, creating a morbid design before lifting Amelia's chin. Her deep brown eyes searched Amelia's while she gave her arm a comforting rub before saying, "I did this for you. Now he can never hurt us again. Don't you see?" Ding ding. "All I see is the love of my life dead by your hands in my home, in my bed," Amelia snapped, reeling back from her friend's grip. "And why is he naked?" "So you're not saying thank you?" "Thank you? For saving you yet again? Why are you always like this?" "Me? You killed my man and you're questioning me." "Your ex-man, current dog, and say it with me, to help you." "By bringing the police to my front door, the vengeful, scorned girlfriend is always the first place they look." "Well, I guess you better help me get rid of him then, huh?" Amelia hesitated, looked at Adamir's body, and then back at Celeste. "Come again?" Celeste threw her head back, laughing at the incredulity in the other woman's voice. I mean, I didn't kill him with the intention of going down for murder, so... She walked past Amelia and out of the room, silence trailing behind her. Alone in the room, the smell of fresh blood hung in the air with an invisible thickness that threatened to make her vomit. Anger rising as she walked to the bed, her eyes welled with tears at the sight of Adamare's lifeless green eyes. She gently closed them, the coldness of his chocolate skin sending her over the edge as she kissed his knuckles. I can't believe you're crying over that fool. Heat rushed to Amelia's face at the sudden intrusion, wheeling around to confront Celeste. Greeted by that smirk she was beginning to despise, she stared at the armful of buckets filled with cleaning supplies. The other girl held out the objects as if they were Christmas presents, a few specks of blood making that old scar look menacing as Amelia backed away in horror. I want no part of this. Celeste said, musing while she looked from Amelia to the buckets. Shrugging, she walked past the girl, set the buckets in a neat row beside the bed before moving the supplies between them to empty the one closest to her. Humming to herself, she crossed to the bathroom, running water adding to the melody. Amelia watched in panic astonishment as her friend returned to the bed, ripping the knife out of Adamare's thigh before wiping the blade on the comforter. Dropping the knife in the bucket with a splash, the calm woman winked at her friend and walked out. That familiar tune still underscoring the blood-soaked scene in an eerie cheerfulness that set Amelia's teeth on edge. Upon return, Celeste carried a small wood-handled axe and a roll of plastic trash bags, her humming now a joyful whistle. With one huge swing, she began hacking at the dead body, the blood splattering the room like it was a canvas. The sound of tearing flesh and metal kissing bone became too much for Amelia, who failed to reach the toilet before retching popcorn and bile onto the bathroom floor. This would go a lot faster if you would start moving parts into those bags, you know, Celeste called, her personal soundtrack finally taking a break. Amelia hugged her knees as she rocked against the bathroom wall. She has no business trying to protect me anymore. I can for damn sure take care of myself. I didn't ask for this, Amelia said in a hushed voice. Since when did you ever ask? Anyway, that really doesn't matter right now because you have to help me. Like now, Millie Mill, Celeste said in the doorway, her blood-smeared hands extended as she nodded towards the room. I could just call the police now, get this all over with. I wouldn't do that if I were you. You wouldn't do a lot of things if you were me. I told you, I don't get caught. I didn't say anything about you. What the hell is that supposed to mean? It means, boo thing, that you should really help me get rid of this body. Amelia let out a low sigh, grabbing the counter for support, knowing full well she wasn't cut out for prison. Starting at the foot of the bed, she gathered the scattered body parts, dry heaving every couple of minutes. Bundling the stained comforter set, Amelia stared down at the once lustful bed she now despised. How can I ever sleep in this bed again? You better move faster. I can't move bags that aren't there, you know. Celeste's words knocked Amelia out of her own thoughts, unaware that she was holding a bundle of bedding in blood-covered hands. The other trash bags were gone, and Celeste stood leaning against the bedroom door, the smirk there as if it were a tattoo. Don't worry, boo thing. He's almost out of our lives for good. But the sun will be rising in an hour, so we don't got a lot of time, Celeste said, mistaking Amelia's confused expression for concern. She tapped on her wrist, pointing to the watch she wasn't wearing and then the bathroom. An unenthusiastic Amelia did as she was told, knowing she did need to get cleaned up, but more important, she needed a game plan. Celeste was officially out of control. Ding ding. Amelia squeezed her eyes shut, not wanting to look for the sound source. That bell hadn't tormented her this much in years. She resisted the urge to scream, but anger swelled in her as she remembered all the texts she found in the hidden app on Adamare's phone, the whispered conversations she heard coming from this bathroom. Thanks to Adamare's cheating behind, I'm hearing JoJo's bell all the time now. I must have some pills left. Frantically, she opened the cabinet behind the bathroom mirror, her eyes searching for one of her remaining prescriptions from Dr. Montgomery. 5 pills left. Not wanting to think about JoJo or Adamere or even Celeste, Amelia dry swallowed 2 of them. Amelia closed the cabinet, a glimpse of a reflection causing pains to race through her. She spun around, clutching her chest, dropping the pill bottle into the sink with a clatter that made her squeal. I hate when you sneak up on me like that, she said, eyeing Celeste standing in the doorway, smirking at her. You know what they say, if you scared, go to church. Thought you stopped taking those. The clipped tone of Celeste's words noticeable as she nodded towards the sink. Well, the dinging is back, so guess you thought wrong. And that's why we're going on a much-needed road trip. Before or after the police find Adamir and all his pieces. You really need to work on your negative thinking, Millie. Ain't that what your Dr. Montgomery would say? Now, let's hit the road. I already got your car loaded, Celeste said, walking away before her best friend could respond. Amelia followed behind, grabbing for Celeste's arm, anger evident in her voice. I am not going on a road trip with you and my boyfriend's dismembered body, Lest. Ding ding. A couple things. The road trip was your idea and he was your ex-boyfriend. You gotta learn to let go, boo thing. Ding ding. Amelia blinked her eyes a few times, trying to focus as the other girl waited for a response. Ding ding. Jojo's not here. Amelia, we need to get out of here. Celeste's volume, force, and snapping her fingers in front of Amelia's face let the frazzled girl know she'd spaced out again. I really hate when you do that, Amelia said, her voice low but firm. And while I love talking about what you hate as much as you do, we need to get moving. Amelia opened her mouth to speak, but Celeste was already walking through the living room and towards the door to the garage. What the hell am I doing? Amelia clutched the steering wheel tighter than black church mothers clutched their pearls. She felt as if she was driving away from one hell into another, and in a way, she was. She knew this. Only Celeste would kill my boyfriend and then make me drive the getaway car while she watches Frasier. Typical. Do you even know where you're going? Celeste's voice startled Amelia, causing her to jerk the steering wheel. Jeez, what are you so anxious about? Didn't you say you always wanted to go on a relaxing road trip? Then relax and stop thinking about your ex-boyfriend. It's hard to relax when there's what would you call it? Dead body, murder victim, cause for federal imprisonment in the trunk of my car. And not to mention I've been driving for going on 3 hours and you know I don't know where I'm going. Amelia's voice rose with every word she spoke. And yet here you are driving away, doing a fine job, I might add. You're the one who said you wanted to be more spontaneous, and like always, I'm here to help. Celeste laughed, grabbing Amelia's phone and making her way to hit 'em up style. Spontaneity aside, what are we going to do about... Millie, can you just relax? Don't I always take care of you? Don't I always make sure you're good? Celeste said, popping a piece of gum into her mouth. Yes, but no buts. I swear you love acting like you don't know how I operate, Millie Mill. Just drive and relax. We're gonna have a good time and I'm gonna take care of everything. Amelia watched out of the corner of her eye as Celeste reclined the seat and began singing along with the song, not even giving her a second glance. Ding ding. Amelia tried to remember the breathing exercises Dr. Montgomery had taught her years ago, sweat making her hands slip on the steering wheel. She eyed her companion cautiously to see if she noticed, but Celeste paid no mind at all. Ding ding. Amelia tried hard to focus on the drive, dread growing in the pit of Amelia's stomach. Something wasn't right. Pulling over at the first exit she'd seen in miles, she barely made it to the gas pump before opening the door and hurling her guts out. Celeste chuckled from her side of the car and said, I would help you, but you know, I never could abide the smell of vomit. She began taking shallow breaths and scrunching her face at her friend, raising her shirt to cover her nose. You don't have to be such an a-hole, Amelia said in a voice much louder than she intended. She watched as a couple at the pump nearby stared at her in confusion. Giving them an apologetic smile, Amelia wiped her mouth with her sleeve before checking the middle console for the pill she swore she grabbed. Ding ding. Are you finished or are you done? Celeste asked, annoyance evident in her tone. What did you do with my pills? I'm not doing this with you, Celeste said, turning her attention back to her phone. Ding ding. Stop treating me like a child, Les. I am not a fucking child, Amelia screamed. Her voice screeched in certain places, the dread in her tummy turning into anger. She beat her hands against the steering wheel, hitting harder and harder until the tears began to flow. Her body shook as she lowered her head between her knees, allowing the sobs to overtake her. Celeste watched for a moment before rubbing small circles on her best friend's lower back. Let it out, boo thing, she said, her voice in a soft, comforting tone. A knock on the driver's side door, Amelia jerked backwards, her eyes red and beginning to puff. It was the woman from the nearby couple. And there she stood, phone clutched in her hands and a genuine look of concern on her face. "Are you okay, young lady?" Her voice muffled by the glass. Amelia glanced at Celeste, who raised an eyebrow, then nodded before rolling down the window. "Yes, ma'am, just having a rough day, that's all. I'm sorry for worrying you. My friend will make sure I'm okay," she said, trying not to sound as pitiful as she felt. The older woman stared at Amelia for just a second, longer than was comfortable, looked at the passenger seat, then back to Amelia before giving her a slow nod and taking a few steps backward. "Thanks for coming to check on me. Sorry to bother you. I'll use my inside voice next time," Amelia said, giving a slight chuckle in the hopes of disarming the woman just enough. With a wave, the blonde returned to her husband with only a few cautious backward glances. "You better get back on the highway before she calls someone to take you to the loony bin," Celeste said, her voice almost tauntingly playful. "I'm crazy because I yelled and not because of the night she put me through. Rich." Amelia bristled, but reality set in. Celeste was right. People remember the girls yelling at each other at the gas station. A new wave of fear surged through her. She shifted the car into reverse, avoiding any possibility the curious people could catch her tags. "Listen, boo thing, I know this situation isn't ideal. Believe me, I do. But be real. Your life is going to be so much better without that clown. You'll be happy again. We'll be happy again." That last sentence had a bite to it, and Amelia felt it. Celeste was never a fan of Adamir, barely coming around in the last 4 years. And Amelia knew, if she were being honest with herself, she missed her friend. Through worse situations than this, Celeste was always there, ready to set the world on fire and dare anyone to ask her why she let it burn. They were yin and yang, and while Celeste did a lot for her, she liked to believe she brought normalcy to Celeste, this wandering free spirit who loved and wanted to be loved. "Celeste, what are we gonna do?" Amelia's voice was quiet, barely audible over the still playing music. "Same thing we always do, Millie. Trust me, this will be a trip to remember." Celeste reached over, squeezing the anxious girl's hand before tapping the driver's volume control. Survivor began to blast through the speakers. She half sang and half yelled the words until a small smile crept across Amelia's lips and she joined in too. The friends sang and yelled as Amelia drove, praying she never heard that bell again. Hydrate. "Oh, thank you. Thank you. That makes me feel good." Y'all, I was really worried that this wouldn't last for the whole hour because I was told, you need to stream 4 hours. So I was like, it's not going to last an hour. It's a short story. Man, this whole long. For real. This is the longest short story ever. All right. The sign said, "Welcome to Juniper Hills, Arkansas, population 3,212. And Amelia shuddered at the sight. Turning the music down, she hated the odd sense of familiarity the creepy town had. "There's a diner on the left just past that second light. I'm starving," Celeste said, licking her lips with a wink. Leave it to Celeste to bring us to clan territory and call it relaxing. The sign announcing Junie's Dine and Dash was weathered with missing letters and an arrow pointing to an even less inviting 4-room. Structure was the only word Amelia came up with that sounded accurate. "I know you're not serious," Amelia asked, her tone dripping in incredulity. Using her turn signal, she rolled her eyes at Celeste smirks. "I guess I'm the only one hungry then, because all I hear from you is complaining." Ding ding. "Should've got something to eat at the gas station. Should've act like you've been here before. I wasn't the one screaming at the gas station," Celeste retorted, her words stunning Amelia to silence. "Boo thing, get out the street." Why can't I focus? Did I grab the meds? Shaking her head, Amelia pulled into the gravel parking lot, driving around back to avoid being seen from the streets. And I don't know if you've forgotten or not, I know how entertaining watching oblivious white men navigate dating as 40-year-old nerds can be, but there is a matter of the trunk. "He's dead, Millie. That man ain't hungry." "No, stupid. Why are we going inside to eat like we don't have a decomposing body riding with us?" "I'm acting like I'm hungry, but you are more than welcome to stay in the car and I'll bring your food out when I'm finished." Amelia felt her body grow warmer with anger. Why is she being so reckless? Turning to say she was going to wait in the car, the gurgle in her tummy vetoed any possibility of staying in the car. How do you even know about this place? It's a family favorite, Celeste said, opening the car door and stretching her legs. Since when do you do anything that reminds you of family? Amelia said with a chuckle. In all their years of friendship, Amelia had never heard Celeste talk about one happy family memory. She learned years ago not to push the matter, and present circumstances meant that even if her stomach weren't growling so loudly, it could be mistaken for a bear cub. She wasn't going to press her for more information now, either. Celeste ignored her curious friend, bending down to tie her shoes. Amelia stormed off in irritation, gravel dirt swirling with each angry step. Of all the things to let Celeste talk me into, how in the world did I end up here? Cussing under her breath, but not wanting to delay her own meal any further, Amelia yanked the diner door open. Ding, ding. Amelia stiffened at the sound, frozen in place. Well, welcome to Junie's, an older woman with gray curls pushed under a hairnet said, drying her hands on a rag hanging from the pocket of her dark apron. Ding, ding. Well, don't let flies in, baby, the lady said, expectation in her eyes as she looked at Amelia. An elderly gentleman cleared his throat from behind Amelia, and she yelped, not realizing someone wanted in. Her face grew hot as a group of older veterans filed in and she stepped aside. Celeste slipped out of her place in the line and stood next to Amelia, stifling a laugh as she pointed to the bell above the door. That's what you get for leaving me. Amelia gave her a plastered smile and a middle finger to boot. Just kidding, dang. Order me the chicken fried steak meal, will you? Heavy on the gravy and broccoli instead of fries. I gotta see a man about a horse. Celeste motioned to a sign above the sprawling menu wall in front of them. With her destination clear, she gave Amelia a quick squeeze on the shoulder before saying, get a table by the jukebox and make sure to order my DP. And Granny's mac and cheese too, Millie. It's your fave. Amelia's nose crinkled in confusion, but searched the restaurant for the table in question. In reality, the inside of the diner showed how spacious the area truly was. It looked like something out of a 50s movie with a black and white checkered floor, red vinyl booths, and long rectangular tables along the ceiling to floor windows. The back wall consisted of the menu nestled above the cooking stations with a long counter space separating the staff from the truckers reading their papers and drinking their coffees. The jukebox sat in the far right corner with a small chair with the same vinyl next to it, an empty booth on either side. About time something goes my way. Amelia sat down, frazzled by the way the smell of southern cooking made her feel safe and calm. Here you go, a young waitress said, placing a glass of water on the table. Thank you. I'd like to order a chicken fried steak, lots of gravy, broccoli, and a Dr. Pepper. The waitress finished, a broad smile on her face. Already got Ray cooking. She tapped her pen lightly to her forehead and winked at Amelia. Amelia's eyes went wide in surprise. Then she gave a light chuckle, nodding in amazement. Guess Les wasn't lying. Before Amelia could continue her order, the waitress walked away, the wind from her apron making the table napkins flutter. Excuse me, miss. I'm sorry, but I wasn't done ordering. The waitress turned around, her smile briefly faltering before she said, my apologies. What else would you like to order? My friend says to try Granny's mac and cheese, so I have that and a slice of strawberry cheesecake. The waitress looked back at the register and then Amelia before writing the order and repeating it back. We'll have that out to you here shortly. Celeste walked to the table, her eyes troubled. Millie, we gotta get out of here. You see how dark it is out there? The truth was, Amelia hadn't noticed. Exhaustion was setting in. Okay, but you're driving the rest of the way. Following after her speed-walking friend, she gave an apologetic wave to the waitress and mouthed the word sorry. Amelia thought the older woman might rip them a new one the way she looked from Amelia to the waitress, placing the phone on the hook with a slam. We gotta go! Amelia ran out the door. Ding, ding. Amelia is jumping rope on the sidewalk surrounding the jungle gym at Hugger Park, except she's 10 years old again, sinking Frankie Lyman and enjoying the day off from school. She remembers this day well, her adult mind riddled with anticipatory dread, while the child she resides in is almost bursting with joy. Until, ding ding! The sound sends panic through Amelia so strong all senses calm ceases to exist, because her younger self hears it too. Heart racing for multiple reasons, the girl stops jumping to listen, nestling the rope around her neck. Ding ding! Go! Amelia yells at herself. As if hearing her, the child snatches her bike off the grass and begins a manic half-pedal, half-run towards safety. Her home. Ding ding! Hey, this ain't for you. How you gonna interrupt me reading? Manners, child. Apologies. Cleo has something to say. Ding ding! Not wanting to look back, but lacking the willpower to do so, the little girl chances it just after a girl with high yellow skin comes barreling around the corner, bright yellow barrettes clanging as she pedals after Amelia. It's her, JoJo Armstrong, the biggest, meanest 4th grader at Pine Ridge Elementary. Young Amelia's legs are working overtime, the jump rope handles clanking against the spinning wheels. She has to get home, but the woman inside her knows she won't make it. Wham! JoJo uses her considerable size difference to knock the poor girl off her bike and onto a nearby curb. Amelia screams in pain as her knees scrape against the ground, her face crashing into the concrete. Did Millie but nearly give herself a boo-boo like the baby she is? The larger girl taunts her. Amelia knows better than to answer. Better to cower and let the girl tease her mercilessly than respond and get it worse. Much worse. JoJo was better at removing her teeth than the dentist, she was sure of it. Fight back, Amelia tells herself, hating how weak the girl looked with grass and dirt covering her skinned and bleeding legs. But as JoJo pulls on her ponytails and kicks her while she circles like a vulture, young Amelia hugs her knees and sang the only song that made her feel safe, squeezing her eyes shut. Everything is black now, but the oil spill and shorty by nature jokes echo inside her head and permeating rage as other voices start joining in. Is that Joe's voice telling her she's lucky he even bothered raising her after her mother died? Get up! Amelia screams at her former self as the voices got louder and stronger. Is that Lamar saying she should abort the mission because he's in med school? This is worse than she remembers, and Amelia thrashes against the body she's confined in. Darkness only slightly changed by what had to be JoJo. She needs to wake up, fight back, something. The girl rocks faster and faster as her singing gets louder and higher in pitch. The voice rises, matching her octave for octave until suddenly they stop. All but young Amelia and another voice, one more familiar to her. Toss salads and scrambled eggs, the other voice sings. With open eyes, Amelia is face to face with a tall, skinny girl with a teeny-weeny afro holding a brick covered in blood. That's the song I sing when I'm upset. It's from this old person show I watched with my grandma. She says as if that was the first question Amelia had. Holding out a hand, she leans forward and says, my name is Celeste, and no one will hurt you ever again. Boo thing, you gotta wake up now. Where are we? Her reverie still at the forefront of her mind, Amelia struggled to get her eyes to focus as she shifted in the passenger street stretching for the first time, and she didn't know how long. Don't worry about all that. Get up. I can't do this part without you. Amelia shifted in her seat, not liking where this was going. Why can't I just be a lookout or something? It's dark out there. Did you say you want this to be over or not? What I want is to not be here. No, what you want is to make reckless decisions and use me as the fixer you can't be, Celeste said, slamming the door as she got out the car. Amelia followed behind her, seething in anger, rounding her to force her to stop. No, you like cosplaying as my fixer because you're too lazy to settle down and stick with anything for longer than a couple months. Says the woman who wishes she could be my... Don't pretend like my life doesn't give you purpose, Les. You butt into my life because it's the only thing you can control. Amelia was shaking by now, her face nose to nose with Celeste. How can I not pretend to not know about something that's written into my very existence? Are you seriously standing here acting this obtuse? Maybe if you stop popping all those pills, you stop acting brand new. What are you talking about? Obtuse about what? Think about it, boo thing. How come you think I need you, but you don't need me? Because I'm the one living my best life, dating, growing in my career, while you're still getting by on whoever's couch you sleep on when you're not crashing at my place. Your dating life consists of low-life dudes who always end up in your trunk. Celeste touched her tongue before walking around Amelia and opening the trunk. Dudes? What are you even talking about? I'm not the only one getting her hands dirty, Celeste smirked. What's that supposed to mean? Amelia asked, trying not to shiver as she maneuvered through the night air. Do you even wonder why you're my only friend? Why I don't talk about family? What does that have to do with anything? Les, can you stop being cryptic and just tell me what's going on? Think about it, boo thing. I don't want to fucking think about it. Amelia's yell pierced the air, the roll of thunder in the distance, her only rival. Who are you yelling at? You! Ding ding. The thunder grows louder. Me? And louder. Yes, you! No, you! No, you! Then who am I? Les, I'm getting in the damn car and waiting for you to finish whatever it is that you started because I'm sick and fuck. Amelia's arms instinctively raised to shield her eyes as blinding high beams shined down on her. Amelia, is that you? Getting the low rumble of a man's voice. A familiar voice, but one she couldn't place. Amelia looked around for a weapon. Celeste was nowhere to be found. The man dimmed the lights and silenced his vehicle. Amelia watched as a tall, burly man walked towards her. Ding ding! Millie, it's me, Wesley. How does he know my name? How do you know my name? The tremble in Amelia's voice gave away her fear more than she desired. I can't let him get the best of me. Where did Celeste go? Why did she leave me? Millie, we don't need to be out here. It's not safe. You remember the way to the house? He took a couple more cautious steps. Hands extended, palms up, showing he had no weapon. Stop calling me that. Only... The realization stopped her cold. Only Celeste calls me Millie. The man took another step towards her. She began to swat at her head over and over. No, no, no! She wouldn't leave me in danger like this. Strong arms wrapped around her, and as familiar as the man's scent was, Amelia thrashed against him. Amelia, where is Celeste? What have you done with her? Love, I know it's hard right now, but you gotta calm down, Wesley said through gritted teeth. You gotta... Amelia threw her head back as hard as she could, knocking into his head. Wesley let out a howl, hands grabbing at his temples, barely blocking an elbow to the jaw. A breathless Amelia took the opportunity to break free and run. I gotta find Celeste. Heart pounding, she pushed her legs as hard as she could, grabbing the door by the window frame and propelling herself inside with a creaky slam. Is the ringing back? Amelia froze. Ding ding. The man spit at the ground and shook his head, standing to his full height. The ding ding of the bicycle. JoJo's bicycle. How did he know that? Amelia turned the brights on, hoping to see the man's face before saying, How do you know that? I know everything, Amelia. I know about Joe and Lamar, and he walked to the driver's side, careful to stay out of the door's way. And Celeste. Where is she? Amelia said through gritted teeth as she started the truck. Sweetheart, Celeste isn't real. You made her up. Anger welled inside her as she shifted gears into reverse. Millie, I know this is a lot, but I'll walk you through it all. Just come back to Junie's with me. Her and Dr. Montgomery are waiting with the hottest chicken fried steak. You must be hungry. Wesley's tone was neutral yet soothing, like this was something he did often. Amelia wanted to correct him, tell him she didn't eat chicken fried steak. Instead, she lightly pressed the gas. If you want, I can bring you back right after so your car isn't here all night, Wesley added, his voice rising to speak over the engine as the distance between them grew. Catching her reflection in the rear view, the red taillights accentuating the scar going down her cheek. Shifting the car into drive, her brown eyes fierce and controlled. You know what to do, boo thing. With a smirk, she slammed the gas, crashing into his body. Good night, Seattle. We love you. Ding, ding. And that's the end of the story. That's the end of the story. What? Yo, it took me 58 minutes to get through that. Yo. My first story in a book is out there, y'all. I mean, damn, Shay, you killed it. I understood the assignment. It's low-key all I'm saying. Low-key. So again, the anthology is called We're Not Thom. I don't know where that was coming from. We're Not Home. It's a horror anthology. All the proceeds go to a charity, Books in Home Australia, to get books in homes of children who do not have them. So if you definitely are interested in reading it, there are 13 other stories in here. You know, check them out, read them, see what you like, see how you feel. But yeah, say you like that story, but you like, hey, I don't got the funds right now. There's a link to another short story. It is another little horror short story that I wrote. It was the very first one that I ever wrote. I put it on Wattpad last year, so you can check it out if you're interested. So thank y'all so much for being here, for commenting, for telling me if y'all like the story. And I mean, if you didn't like the story and you thought it could be better, I appreciate you telling me that too. Because, you know, we don't get any better with yes men. You know what I mean? Like, we got to have people to be like, it could level up right here. Thank you. I hope so. Because, yeah. Thank you. It's funny. I'm not going to lie. I'm proud of myself because when I first started streaming on YouTube, I refused to stream by myself, my very first stream. And look at me doing the dang thing. It's a thing. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of your day. I'm going to go support other people and watch their streams. And I will holler at y'all next time. Bye.